MX Network production.
EVS Sports brings you a cheeky Brit and an American YouTube racing sensation weekly on the LVK More Than Moto podcast. Here's your hosts, Lewis Phillips and Kellen Brauer.
Welcome back, everybody, to the EVS Sports LVK More Than Moto podcast. I am Kellen Brauer from MotoOnline.com, Lewis Phillips from Vital MX. Joining me, as always, first off, apologies, we missed an episode last week. Lewis, not feeling very well before he went to Majora, and I'm just glad that you're better, buddy.
Yeah, we're fine. You made it into such a big deal that we missed a week.
No, I was just kind of giving you shit.
We hadn't missed a week since like March. We're good. We're fine.
No, we took a weekend off, the last off weekend for Supercross.
Wasn't that March?
Was it?
I think it was.
Oh, God, that's how many races we've had since then?
You were just all up on me.
But anyway, you're okay, right? So this wasn't heat stroke this time, or do you know?
No, there's a lot of issues in Lewis's life.
A lot of issues.
Yeah, a lot of issues. Just trying to survive, really. Who knows how much longer I'll make it. Bets are probably wise to go that I'll be out of here by the end of the year, the way it's going. But hey, let's see.
Yeah. But anyway, so we missed last week's show. Then we start off this week. You guys came back from Major. We were on Pulp. So there's already been a lot of us this week, and we're going to try to change up the format a little bit, maybe have a little bit more offhanded discussions. Although on Pulp, we didn't really talk that much about the racing. A lot of laughs about wash bays, but yeah.
Yeah, people need to calm the fuck down. Honestly, like, it was quite obvious that Steve and I were jet-lagged and borderline delirious.
I thought it was hilarious.
And then people are just so fucking moody. Like, mate, get a grip. If you don't, like, fuck me. People are so up in their own feelings. I can't imagine being that type of person, to be honest. Crazy. Anyway,
yeah, so we're going to do another show here today and hopefully get another one done next week, even though it is off week and we have been taking the off weeks off, but we're going to do 2 in a row, I think. Before we do that, really quickly, I want to say I am kind of losing my voice, as you can maybe tell. I don't know if you even realized that when you walked in, Lewis, that you could hear me.
Well, you told me, so
yeah, but I'm saying, could you hear it in my own voice? No? So I'm going to try to make it last for an hour, but we'll see if we make it. But yeah, let's jump into the show. Before we do, big shout out to EVS Sports. Experience the pinnacle of knee protection and injury prevention with the EVS Web Eclipse knee brace. For over 39 years, EVS has relentlessly honed their engineering expertise, consistently delivering award-winning knee braces. This legacy of excellence is embedded in every facet of the new Web Eclipse, which represents the culmination of their tireless dedication to innovation and rider safety. Use code LVK30 to save 30% off today. Also, thanks to Namura, the leading provider of engine components for motocross, ATV, UTV, and personal watercraft for over 2 decades. Namura has been the preferred choice for premium and dependable engine components for more than 20 years. Whether you're restoring your vintage bike, rebuilding your four-wheeler, or upgrading your new 450 race motor, Namura has you covered. Our extensive line of cast and forged pistons, connecting rods, gasket kits, engine valves, and soon cylinder kits that enhance your engine's performance. Keep an eye out for our new and innovative products in 2024 and beyond. Stay up to date by following us on Instagram at Namura_technologies. And also a big thank you to Racetech for presenting this show. For 40 years, Racetech has been supplying the motorcycle industry with high-quality suspension components made right here in the USA. For modern and vintage, Racetech is your go-to source for suspension performance. Not really a Racetech fan topic this week, but we have a really fun kind of game that Lewis and I are going to play at the end, and we'll have that be brought to you by Racetech this
really
week.
Fun may be a stretch, but sure.
Well, you made it sound like it was going to be a good banter.
No, I think I said I found this. It will do.
Okay, well, we'll see. All right, let's get into our first topic of the day. And if you've never been with us before, 7-minute timer on the clock, and we are going to start talking about Max Anstie to Star Racing Yamaha for the rest of outdoors on a multi-year deal. Going to start at Southwick. Lewis, this is kind of your guy. So the first question I want to ask you about this, what do you think that this means for Max Anstie's career from this point onward?
Well, what do you mean?
Like, now that, not that Firepower was a bad team or anything like that, but we know what Star's kind of repertoire is in terms of championship success. Does this immediately make Anstie indoor-outdoor title threat, no questions asked?
Yeah, because he was almost there anyway.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So it just solidifies his position.
Yeah.
And also, I got some shit in Supercross because people disagreed with this. But if you look at Star's team for next year, which is Pierce, Moserman, Thrasher, Deegan, Max. Don't believe I'm missing anyone.
Bennick.
Max and Deegan are like really their only realistic title hopes. Realistically.
Yeah. I think they have race winners in there for sure.
Yeah, well,
so.
I said title hopes.
Yeah. But I just mean that could translate into title hopes for those guys.
So yeah, I think he goes there with some pressure. He's not just like an add-on guy who's like, hey, come and have some fun and finish in the top 5. So yeah, I think he will deliver wins indoors and out. Whether that's a championship, who knows? But it's definitely the best situation he could get himself in.
Right. So obviously this was announced yesterday, Wednesday. We're a week and a half-ish away from Southwick. And on the Pulp Show, there was the debate of does Anstie win Southwick? Does he go 1-1? How does he win it if he does? Because he's obviously been a very good sand rider throughout his career. Now he's on arguably the best bike in the class. It's the first time he's raced 250 motocross in the USA, though,
since 2010.
2010, so it's been a minute. Do you think that at all, first of all, has any sort of like hamper in him adapting to getting used to racing a 250 in the USA again?
No, because it's been so long that he was on a 450.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, so for example, Cody Schock, who's racing this year, says the 250 class is way different outdoors than racing a 450 outdoors. It's been so long since Anstie's had the intensity and the high level pace on an outdoor bike on a 250, for example. Does that affect him at all, or no? He's going to be as
Maybe
good as ever.
Maybe it does at a track like Redbud, but I don't think it will at a track like Southwick.
Yeah.
And also, not to be harsh, but I don't think you could compare Cody Schock to Max Anstie.
I'm just using it as a reference point of someone who has said already this year, transitioning from 450 back to 250 is tough.
Yeah.
And we've seen even Joey Savacci this year, who's a former 250 race winner, not be the 250 race winner Joey Savacci that we saw in the past. So
more so than adapting to the 250, I think just adapting to motocross again,
right,
could take some time.
Yeah, because it's been 3 years basically since his race.
And like during his Supercross only deal with Firepower, he was never training outdoors. He was never like riding outdoors for fun.
Yeah,
he was out of outdoors completely. But nevertheless, I do believe he can win Southwick.
Yeah. So I know that you talked to him and you don't have to like give away all the secrets or whatever, but is the general feeling like, good God, like this is amazing, this bike and all that stuff? Like, is that how things have gone so far already?
Yeah, I think he's more happy with the work ethic of the team and the options available and the way the team operates. That's kind of the headline. But yeah, the reports I've had are good. And
okay.
Like, I don't blow smoke. If what he was telling me did not make me think he would win Southwick, then I'd say, yeah,
right.
a bit much.
I just, a majority of the time people will say, you get on that bike and it's, so much faster than you even think a 250 can be, and like all those things like that. So I didn't know if he's had reports about even that.
He said the biggest eye opener is the window on the bike is so big.
Okay.
Like,
of what you can find that's comfortable.
Yeah. Like you can, whereas on other bikes, maybe it's so narrow to get in that window. Whereas on this bike, it's just like a massive window. But the big news.
Oh, okay.
You can't send out a PR with the rider's name spelt wrong. I don't care who you are.
I mean, this is going to go back to the topic we had earlier this year about PRs.
You just can't.
You can't.
There's no excusable. There's no excuse. There's literally no excuse for that to happen.
Yeah.
I have never seen that happen in any sport or situation ever.
Can I just ask, is it better or worse that it was misspelled the whole way through, or that it,
it's worse.
So it's worse
because that shows they didn't know.
Yeah.
That confirms it wasn't a typo.
Yeah, not a good look, obviously. And Yamaha did correct it. They went back and put out another PR later that said, the right name all the way throughout, because it was misspelled all the way through.
Yep. Social media, yeah.
Have you ever, Max's name, first of all, like, is a little bit of a tongue twister for a last name, kind of like not bad, but like
it could like Di Francesco. Like there are a lot of worse names to spell.
Spelling wise, it's not that difficult. I think I'm just saying that like Anstie, like it's kind of like a weird juxtaposition to the middle of the word. Is it just as simple as like you mess up the sounds of the syllables, so you spell it wrong once and it's stuck in your head?
I don't care. That's not.
I'm just asking a question.
The name
Lewis
is on the results every week. It's on the tower at the track. It's on the jersey. It's everywhere you look.
Yeah.
Like I know how to spell riders' names because you see riders' names everywhere. So it's like it doesn't ever leave you.
Yeah.
It's like I would never know how to spell Di Francesco in any other situation other than the fact that it's everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's just been hammered into my skull.
Well, maybe this Max Anstie character shows up to Southwick. Anstie, which is another, like, it's a word, antsy, being antsy about something. He's just that excited to ride the bike, Lewis. He's been so antsy to get on the machine and actually race it.
Sucks that you thought you were going to get a Star Yamaha deal and it's gone to this antsy guy.
Yeah, and life happens that way sometimes. So anyway, Southwick, maybe not 1-1, but we think is a potential that he can
He'll
win.
Be a top 4 guy.
Which we, on our drive back yesterday, were talking about how crazy it would be that Anstie's not a fill-in guy at Star, but for 2, back-to-back rounds in a row, have Masterpool as a fill-in and then Anstie as this, kind of lurched onto the team early. Would you consider this early? Like, we had heard this is a 2025 deal.
Yeah, it is a 2025 deal.
But, like, is this surprisingly early that he's already on the bike ready to race?
It just makes sense. Like, why wait?
No, I get the logistics of it, but I mean, like, this doesn't happen very often that a deal is in place for next year and it's just like, let's just get him on the bike now.
Yeah, but it was just a unique situation. Supercross only deal. He was already like in the area, obviously MTF and the goat farm are close by. So it's not like there was effort involved to move. Like, it was kind of plug and play.
Yeah. All right. So Southwick, Max Anstie. We'll see what happens.
It'll be a good story to follow.
It'll be a fun story to follow. And obviously, like you said, I agree. I think he's going to be a title contender moving forward on this bike. We briefly talked about him there for a second. Let's move into our second topic. Over the weekend at High Point, Than Masterpool, fill-in rider for Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki, gets his first career moto win, first career overall win. It's obviously a fantastic story, and we kind of talked about it on Pulp a little bit about whether or not this gives him the factory ride that so many people have been beating doors down for. But I kind of wanted to start this topic off by asking Lewis, before the season starts, he gets this ride. What was like the ceiling you had for him before we even go racing on that bike?
Top 5 at some rounds.
So he was qualifying really well by, I think, Hangtown. He was like 3rd or 4th in qualifying or something like that.
I feel like he wasn't bad at Parla.
No, he was 6th, I think.
Yeah, that's what I think.
But so did the progression that you saw in terms of the speed that he already had on the machine, did it change your perception week to week, or did you still think this is a massive outlier?
No, this is a massive outlier.
Okay.
Just because it's one thing to show speed, which I believe he's always done, but I needed to see him put it together, over 2 motos. It will be very interesting to see if he does this again. Like, if something has clicked,
Yeah. I mean, I think it's actually cool that he did it at a track I don't know I would have expected Than Masterpool to be amazing at. Like, so many people said Thunder Valley last year, look at how good he was on the 450 and battling for podiums and Cooper Webb and all this stuff like that. So then you would think Thunder Valley would be where it would all come together, and he qualified fastest, or Redbud, and he qualified fastest at Thunder Valley. Not that Masterpool's not a good hard packed rider or ruts rider or anything like that, but especially with the prep of High Point and everything, I think that's where it's maybe caught me the most off guard, because he rode that track like as well as it could be. Deegan was a little bit better, but as well as it could be for someone that just is figuring out this bike, which I think is the most impressive part about it.
Yeah, it definitely will change the situation heading into Redbud now. Like, I feel like people will expect him to win Redbud, and maybe he will himself as well.
Is that fair, though?
Well, I don't know. He's won now, so it's on the table.
It is, but I mean, he's only been on the bike 3 weeks. So you like...
Yeah, but now when you've won, expectations change.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the way it goes.
So then on the flip side of that, let's say he goes to Southwick. I don't know if he loves the sand or whatever, but if he goes to Southwick and goes 6-7, are people going to be like, ooh,
No,
yeah, not good?
because I don't know, because I do not believe that people are that convinced or set on what Masterpool is. The only reason I say Redbud is because we know his history there.
Right.
So I believe that even if High Point hadn't have happened, people would have gone to Redbud expecting greatness.
Yeah.
So now they will feel as though greatness is possible at Redbud specifically. Outside of Redbud, I don't think he wins again.
No.
And I do believe that his ceiling is just a top 5 guy. But maybe I'm wrong.
So we kind of debated on the show about whether or not this gives him a fill-in ride or not. We kind of said like
a full-time ride.
A full-time ride on a factory team. We kind of said everything's already looking full. It's a really tough situation to be in if you're him, because you would be the extra guy on the team at this point on any team you kind of go to. How many, like, what does he have to do from here to the end of the season for any team to just be like, doesn't matter, we got to do it?
I don't believe that anyone has the ability to do that, do they? When have you ever seen a team just make a ride apart from Star?
PC?
Just make a ride?
There was no 5th seat, and they made a seat for Shimoda.
I guess so.
So, but PC, we believe, already has 5 seats for next year. So then they would have to make a 6th seat for Masterpool. And back to the topic of Star. Star will give anybody a bike and just basically be like, yeah, we'll make you ride for bonuses pretty much. So
I liked my idea of him staying on HBI with more Kawasaki support, assistance, and the unwritten rule is if we need you in either class, you're in.
On a 450 though.
Who cares?
I think he'd have to go back to a 450. All these guys talk about over and over again is you cannot compete in this 250 class when you're not on factory equipment.
Yeah, sure, do that then.
So if he does do your deal, I would recommend he goes back to the 450 class. We also talked about his Supercross skill set, which has so far been the main reason why teams have not been taking chances on him. He got better towards the end of Supercross. If you had to pluck him into the 250 class right now, seeing where he was at the end of Supercross, you put him on a factory bike. Where does he finish on a 250 indoors?
12th.
Really? That low?
9th.
I still think it's higher.
Oh.
I think you give him a factory machine and give him time in the offseason to test with the team and everything like that to get himself comfortable with the bike. I could see him being a top 5 guy on factory bikes indoors.
I don't know. I think that's a bit far.
Because
if that was true, someone would have done it and gave him that chance already.
Yeah, I know. And it's tough because like you said, he was on Star. There's obviously he's wanting to race Supercross? Not really. And then the team wanted to take a step, or he wanted to take a step back to get himself healthy. And then the team there's a lot of weird situations involved with it. But yeah, so if you say he's in Supercross, an 8th place guy, but he can win you an outdoor title. If you're a factory team, do you say, let's do it?
But can he win you an outdoor title?
He has the speed.
I feel like you are one of the people who's being really suckered into, oh my God, he can win everything now.
I don't think he can win everything. But if you say, hey man, this guy's going to walk onto this team and in less than a month, he's going to win you a race. What team would be stupid enough to not be like, we can do that? Every team over the year has been like, we can work with speed.
If I'm a team owner, I'm going, great. I just need to see it once more.
Okay, so that's what I'm asking. He has to do it at least one more time for teams to be like, all right, we got to buy in somehow.
Yeah, but also before we finish this topic, I saw a comment that said, look at what Anstie did on a 450 and then on a 250 indoors. That's Masterpool. But again, are we not all warped in our vision of this? Because Anstie was at 11, 12, 13 guy on a 450. Masterpool was never that indoors. He was an 18, 19, 20 guy.
I thought his highest finish was like 14th or 13th.
Look it up.
I'm not going to do this. We're not going to go through this.
Okay, I'll look it up. I'd like to know.
But yeah, we talked about it on the show about Chiz dropping back down and racing a Star 250. And listen, not to be mean to Chiz, I don't think Chiz is the type of guy you put on a 250 and you're like, who's going to haul ass on a 250 again? Kyle Chisholm. But clearly Masterpool is. So I think like Masterpool would.
What clearly Masterpool is.
Yeah, drop back down to a 250 and had no problem figuring out how to go really damn fast on the bike again.
I thought you meant the ripping part.
Yeah.
In Supercross.
But Chiz dropped back down to a 250 and almost podiumed on a star bike, almost won a Triple Crown race. Like, I don't think it's impossible to make that gap.
Right. Proving that everything I've said, everyone's minds are warped, including yours. Raced 4 main events, 16, 17, 20, 16.
Okay.
That proves it. Everyone's minds are like what is like, but it's like a Masterpool effect. New shiny toy? I don't know. Hey, I think he might have won a 450 main this year. If I remember right.
Stop it.
Like,
I'm not saying that.
Hey,
I said I thought he got 14th. He got 16th in a main.
Jet won the title. Who was he battling? Was it Masterpool? I think it was Masterpool.
Give me a break, Lewis.
But this is what I feel like.
I jumped 2 places.
This is genuinely what I feel like the notion is amongst fans.
Did he get better at the end of Supercross on a 450? Yes or no?
Who was the GOAT guy? Was it Masterpool? I think
Give
it was
me a break. Did he get better at the end of Supercross? Yes or no?
Did he get injured? Why did he only race 4 mains?
Yeah, I think he did, if I remember right, like mid-season or something.
Well, his results were all over the map because it was 16.
No, he got his appendix removed before the season. He didn't even start racing until like halfway through.
Yeah, okay, before the season. So why did he only make 2 of the last 5 main events?
Because he didn't start racing till like round 10 or 11 or something like
round
that.
Round 8 was his first main, which was Daytona.
Okay, yeah. But again, missed all of Supercross testing with appendicitis / appendectomy or whatever it's called.
All of Supercross testing.
I'm just saying he had a clear health issue.
Testing.
He had a clear health issue that prevented him.
I'm sick of this topic.
Okay. Jesus
because I
Christ,
feel like
Lewis.
You're over the top with your...
I'm just trying to figure out how we can get from the point of Masterpool as a race winner to Masterpool should be on a factory 250.
I think Lars should fire Jet. Let's make room. Let's just make room. Let's just open up a spot. If there isn't a spot, we need to open one. Send Jet back to Australia. Because we've got Masterpool. Masterpool's here now. Jet's time has come and gone. It's Masterpool's time.
Okay, can we end this topic real quick? I'm going to ask one more question. If you are, the puppeteer of the sport or something like that, and you just take where we are at right now with what Masterpool has done on this bike already, where do you see him next year?
Like I said, HBI with more technical support, more assistance, and an unwritten rule of when we need you in either class, you're coming up. Got it.
Fair enough. I don't know that I agree with that. I think that he's already done enough that a factory team would just at least.
If PC had 2 spots free, sure, I'd be open to that. But I'm looking.
You
at
win
it
for Mitch, and he's going to go to war for you.
You know what? I've just realised I've made the sin that is what will cause me to get hate. I've looked at the situation logically and said there are no spots, which means that he can't have a spot because there are no spots.
Right.
You go to a store, you buy an item, it's sold out, you can't buy the item. People won't like that because people don't like logic. They need optimism. So yeah, he'll find a way. We'll find a way. Don't fuck it. Don't stress it.
All right.
He'll find a way.
I'm not stressed either. Yeah, we're good.
He'll find a way.
He'll find a way.
He'll find a way. He's crafty.
Oh my gosh.
You fucker.
All right, let's get into our next topic. First kind of non-moto topic. It's not a fan topic.
Really angered me, that topic.
Yeah, chill down.
Because I just know move on.
Yeah, stop talking. Let's get to the next topic. We were not at the race this past weekend. I did not go to High Point. We're trying to figure some stuff out. You were at Majora. So not many of I don't want to say not many of the core media was there because there was quite a few media outlets that did send people. But kind of the people that I guess most get their information from, a la Steve, basically, was not there.
Well, no, it was just a difference to the first couple of rounds because a lot of them, there was some of the media that were at every round weren't at High Point, which meant the High Point was a change.
Yes, that's kind of the key difference. But point being, with Steve being in Majora, there was this nonstop backlash that I kept seeing on Twitter of people saying, "Where's the review pod? Where's all the updates from the day? Yada yada yada." This. So what I kind of wanted to just talk to you about today, Lewis, is there are times as journalists where we simply can't go to races, whether it be budget or whatever's going on. For you guys, it was the opportunity to go cover a GP, which is very important to you as you are one of the leading US GP crossover type guys and you have a podcast that details GP race weekends. So it's important for you to go to these races too. But when we're not at a race, what do fans like? What do they expect out of us? Because I'm not there, so I don't feel the right to provide all these like massive updates about what's going on because I'm not actually there, like either seeing it with my own eyes or going and asking people questions about updates. Can I get updates? Yeah, like if there's an injury, I will text people and get an update. But there wasn't really any of that this weekend, so there wasn't stuff that I felt like needed tweets or needed posts or anything like that. What should we do?
Yeah, I've never faked being at a race because I feel like even if you're at home, you can create the illusion that you're at a race with your tweets.
Exactly.
But that's always felt dirty to me.
I agree.
So I stay away from that. But then observations and stuff you can do from home that is kind of like clear that you're not on a track, then yeah, I'm cool with.
Yeah, because like
I will never fake being at the race.
Like I think Steve kind of did the same thing. Like I would just do updates about things that I like. Oh, that Masterpool win is really freaking cool, and I would like tweet that or like, holy crap, did you see how hard Hayden Deegan hit that outside rut? Just things that generally people are also seeing that would be engaging discussions on social media platforms is stuff I like talking about. Because otherwise, like we don't have the news information available to get answers for them right away about stuff. It's going to take a little bit of time. Again, like no one really got hurt or any like real dramatic things happened over the weekend, but it did take me aback how many people were just like, where's the journalist of the sport? And
well, people just, I think more than anything, people just wanted live updates on Twitter. It was just,
but I thought that was like,
that group.
I thought that's a thing of the past.
No, but it's just Racer X that do it now. But if people have been relying on that service for 10 years.
Yeah.
So therefore, if it goes away, whether it's a thing of the past or not, if it's not there one weekend, the people who rely on it are obviously going to want it. And then when they realize Racer X aren't doing it, they're going to be like, what? No one else is doing it? When otherwise they're not aware of that because they just rely on Racer X.
One thing I will say about the Twitter updates, which again, like I said, I don't really feel the need for it anymore sometimes.
No,
because
I feel a bit dumb when I do it.
Right. But when I have been in the past in an area where it's hard to get service, but you want to see updates on something. And this usually happens to me when like I want to watch updates about an F1 race, NASCAR, or something else that I cover moto every weekend, so I just see it all the time. Yeah. But if I want updates on those races and I'm camping or I'm at a racetrack that has terrible service, one of the only things that sometimes works is Twitter. If you try to go to a website and see live timing, it won't load. If you try to go to a website and see a report, it won't load. But Twitter sometimes works. So is that something where even we in our own mind should be like, yeah, maybe people do actually need updates on Twitter, at the very least screenshots of results every time or something like that?
Did Pro Motocross live tweet?
Ish. Yeah, they like, but another thing as well is Pro Motocross has been very heavy this year on video. Yeah. It's been, here's this whole shot, here's this crash, here's that with no context to it. Where again, if you're in a place with no service and you're trying to get updates about the race, you're not going to be able to see that video. And it's just going to be like, here's what happened to Chase Sexton, and you won't be able to load the video.
You know, you can post articles on Twitter now.
Yep. I saw that. So something.
I wonder. Like,
because you can make money off Twitter too for doing that.
Yeah, but not with our followings.
Ish.
I think I looked into it, and you need like a lot of followers.
I mean, how many followers on Twitter do you have?
Me personally,
yeah,
only 10, 7, 6, 5, 4, 8.
Clearly, right on top of it. I think you could do it reasonably so for Racer X, Vital, like the companies that have a decent following on Twitter.
I think you need a minimum of 100K followers to really.
Okay. I don't know. Like I've seen some accounts that have ridiculously amounts of high engagement that they say they're making a lot of money on Twitter, and they only have 10,000, 20,000 followers or whatever. Yeah. So anyway, that's beside the point. We don't feel it's right on our behalf to provide updates at a race we are not at. So is it better then in that situation when people are asking for information that we say, we are not there. Follow our buddies that are, or something like that.
I think we can do better of providing information when we're not there, but just clarifying, hey, we're not there. But
yeah, because I did that in the morning. I said I'm not at High Point today, straight up, because I just like to jump in front of it so that people know.
Yeah.
But then I guess people were not happy with the amount of updates throughout the day.
Yeah, but it's like I say, it was just because RacerX didn't do live updates.
Yeah, it must be just that.
And that's for service that people rely on.
Yeah.
So RacerX didn't do live updates. People freaked out. Then they were like, well, who else does live updates? No one? Oh my God. There's no one doing it. That's kind of the timeline of events.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's fair. If you're not at a race weekend, like how much are you like on a time amount, a level, like dedicating to like following the storylines, like not necessarily just watching the race?
Honestly, it's been so long since I wasn't at a race.
Yeah, but there was, I mean, for years you were not going to Supercross and motocross races, but you cared about it. So I'm saying,
if I was at MXGP, my job was MXGP. I wasn't a Supercross reporter.
I understand that, but like Supercross started in January. You would go almost 2 whole months where only Supercross was the thing that you could talk about when you worked at your past company. So how would you cover that when you were obviously not at those races?
Barely. I would never give opinions because I didn't feel like I deserved to give opinions.
Right.
I would use a press conference. I would post some like factual stuff because that's like not
PRs and
or just even like stats,
right?
Because you don't see stats, you work it out yourself. But I would never like give opinions or anything like that because I didn't feel like I was deserving to do so.
Yeah, and I think that that's fair in my opinion. Like that's, if we're not at the races, that's just how we have to cover it to be factual journalists.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Twitter accounts and I don't want to call them media people, but people that are like making content that just like spew stuff out. And I don't feel that that's our place to do that.
Well, no, because also you don't want to be one of those.
I don't care. Like those accounts can do whatever they want. I just don't feel like that's the value that we bring to the sport ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we have professional backgrounds with these teams and athletes and everything like that. That we're the ones that are kind of trusted to get information out of them.
Yeah.
And we can't just be like this thing and that thing and this thing and like all this random stuff over and over again because it's not who we are. So
this topic's gone too long.
Okay, sorry. I just was trying to talk.
No, I wasn't going to add because this topic's gone too long.
Okay, let's get into the second half of our show. Before we do, big shout out to EVS Sports. Experience the pinnacle of knee protection and injury prevention with the EVS Web Eclipse knee brace. For over 39 years, EVS has relentlessly honed their engineering expertise, consistently delivering award-winning knee braces. This legacy of excellence is embedded in every facet of the new Web Eclipse, which represents the culmination of their tireless dedication to innovation and rider safety. Use code LVK30 to save 30% off today. All right, let's get into the second half of our show. Very 250 heavy show today that we're having. But look, the 450 class is it's a close championship fight, but it seems pretty established on what we think is going to happen there. So let's talk more 250s because on the drive home yesterday, Lewis, we were talking about how this 250 championship has already kind of delved into a Deegan runaway, more or less. And I said, I basically just pitched you the question, is Vialle kind of blowing this? Like he's had opportunities to win motos. He's had opportunities to land on the podium consistently. He had 2, I think, pretty good opportunities this weekend, at least that wouldn't have looked as bad in the overall result of an 8-4. And he's, I don't know, to me, making very uncharacteristic mistakes as a 2-time world champion. What say you?
Well, first, what we know is the first 3 motos of the year, he was struggling with bike setup.
Right.
Made a shock change before Hangtown Moto 2, was much happier. Hangtown Moto 2 was, of course, a big race for him. I believe he said to me after the race that shock change was relevant everywhere, so he would be much happier moving on. Thunder Valley was fine. Some good speed. Could have won. Fine. Great, even. Fine is probably a disservice. I don't really understand what happened at High Point.
Yeah, it was confusing.
Especially because High Point is where we would expect him to do great.
In those conditions, too, I think that's pretty, like, that kind of stuff is where I think Vialle shines. Like, being really good about balance on the pegs, riding ruts very well, mixed conditions with a little bit of mud and some rain, but also the track having a harder base. I don't know. That seems to me like where Vialle would be very, very good at.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't feel like we see a lot of GP tracks like that with a lot of lines and stuff like that, but still, he's a great rider, so he could adapt to any track. Southwick will be big because really he's the heavy favourite to win Southwick, as he did last year. And last year, it wasn't going well, and he still won Southwick. So this year, it's going better than last year. He should definitely win Southwick, in my mind.
Yeah, the only thing I'll raise about that, though, is like, is it too late? It's 38 points down.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
So
yeah, Deegan's won the title.
That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, if Vialle could have won the second moto this weekend, and suddenly we're looking at it only being 30 points, 28 points, and then he can go 1-1 at Southwick, and we're under 20 again somehow, then I would say, yeah, maybe so. But I think he's already kind of like, through a handful of mistakes at the start of the year, lost his opportunity to still challenge.
Yeah, but still, I'm not talking about him winning Southwick as a chance to get his title run on track.
Okay.
I'm talking about it as a chance for him to just get his season on track.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm back. This is me. Yeah, Deegan's won a championship.
Mm-hmm.
That's a foregone conclusion.
Because like even after Southwick last year, and maybe I'm misremembering, wasn't after Southwick when he won, wasn't it suddenly like 5-6 guys within like 20 points?
I was saying that Vialle could
still win the title.
Yeah, like this could be the start of a tear, and then he wins.
Right. So that, like, even if he wins Southwick, it would almost mean less than it did last year. Like you say, it gets.
Yes, if you're talking about the title.
But we think it's over, as you said.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about the title. I'm talking about Vialle's self-worth and
okay. So then back
confidence and whatever else.
Back to the original question I asked you. 4 rounds in, did he blow it?
Well, I believe it was title or bust for him. This goes back to what I said on a previous episode, how weird it is that the notion is that Euros can't ride Supercross, but more often than not, they win a Supercross title and not an outdoor title.
Yeah, because they put so much effort into learning Supercross. Maybe
and also it's a weaker field, so that helps.
Yeah, half the competition. But he battled the same guy that's dominating him right now. So
funny, just a weird.
Yeah,
that could be a good story. Actually,
if you go into the season and you say, Hayden Deegan's going to win a title, Tom Vialle's going to win a title, pick which ones they're going to win. I don't think we would have done the order that it's happening in.
No, it's crazy when you look at it like that. It's actually insane.
So anyway, you think, he blew it.
I believe that Vialle will reassert himself as the second best guy in the series.
Okay.
Because I do believe he is that. He's above Kitchen and he's above Hymas. I do believe that.
Hymas is the only rider now alongside Deegan that's been in the top 5 in every moto this year. Vialle got 8th in the first moto at High Point, and that ruined his spell of that. I don't know. I'm shocked by the lack of consistency out of Vialle. That's the biggest thing to me. I thought he would, second year on all these tracks, know the bike a little bit better. He's very talented outdoors. I just thought and we maybe should have seen the signs coming. Did you not feel like when we left Fox Raceway, you're like, damn, they dropped him. What the heck?
Yeah, but that was Fox.
Okay, but he won Hangtown Moto 2. He was very good battling Deegan in the first moto at Thunder Valley. Name me another moto where Vialle has been like, look at him go.
Well, yeah, but you're saying Fox and High Point were disappointing races.
And the second moto at Thunder Valley and the first moto at Hangtown when he was on Deegan and then just backwards.
But we know that he made a bike change for the second moto at Hangtown. And in my mind, the first moto at Thunder Valley was enough to warrant that race being deemed a success. Because he could have won.
He could have, yeah.
So if you're a glass half full guy, you focus on that. If you're glass half empty, you focus on the second moto. We just found out which one you are. Sorry.
Is this I'm trying to rack my brain. I don't think he ever had rough starts to his GP championship seasons. No? I thought he would always start well, have some rough patches, then fix it by the end.
The year that Renault won, he missed rounds with injury and almost came back to win the championship.
Right. And then the Yago year, that was another, he had the championship lead, some crashes, threw it away. Yago went on a stretch.
I can't remember how he ended up so far behind Yago. He had a bike problem in Tuchenthal, but there was...
That was the year that he crashed really hard at Mantova from the lead, wasn't it?
No.
No?
No. I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the year he battled Gargo, he had a bike problem at Tuchenthal, and there was something else.
Little
A
injury or
crash?
something.
And lost points? I don't know. Who cares?
Anyway,
Moving on.
yeah. Oh, we're just past this topic now, or
Well, I feel like we're flogging a dead horse at this point.
I'm just trying to get to the bottom of like, so Southwick, he turns it around. Then we're just back on happy days, but too late. Sorry, gonna get second in the championship. Done deal.
Yeah.
Okay, but Southwick, he does turn it around.
Yes.
Even though Anstie's gonna win.
If he doesn't finish on the podium at Southwick, that is shocking.
Anstey versus Vialle.
That
Southwick.
That should be the battle.
Anstey versus Vialle. Southwick. Who you got?
Who knows?
Oh, really? You don't even have a pick?
No.
Oh, okay.
That should be the battle in my mind.
I would honestly say Anstie. I think I told you that. I thought Anstie's been a better sand rider in his career than Tom.
Yeah, but there's more at play than just that. Drop them both at Lommel in their primes. Yeah, Anstie all day, but Anstie's not had that long training outdoors.
I'm going to
He's
Twitter
not
right
raced.
now. Lewis Phillips, Max Anstie not in his prime.
He's not raced outdoors, wouldn't he? No, neither is anyone.
No one's in their prime anymore.
That wasn't a comment.
Hayden
on Max.
Deegan not in his prime.
I said drop them at their primes. Vialle's prime was probably 22, late 22, maybe.
When he was catching Yago,
Yeah.
hand over fist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
That's,
even late 21.
that's a good shout. All right, let's roll from Vialle into a topic about the team that he rides for, or the manufacturer he rides for, really. We talked on Pulp about the potential downsizing of KTM, Gas Husqvarna into more condensed teams next year. I'm assuming this is like a little bit of just a restructuring at budget level kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So KTM bought Gas in 2019, end of 2019?
Oh, yes.
Somewhere around that
Yes,
area.
Yes.
Then they go racing with them in 2021. Was the first time that they raced with Gas.
Here.
When did they start in GPs? Right away?
Yeah, 20.
Really? Who was on the team?
Hold on.
Oh, yeah. But he got hurt, didn't he? On that bike? Anyway, so timeline of events. They buy Gas. They go racing with them. They win with Barsha. They win some races with Langenfelder in Europe and stuff like that.
Cold enough.
And then obviously Prado becomes a world champion on that bike. If you look at results, Gas has been successful for KTM because they brought in another manufacturer and have turned it into a winning brand. However, there's clearly this budget surrounding them that is constricting everything back down. And instead of expanding one machine, one team, etc., they had to do it with KTM, Husqvarna, and Gas. And you said if they didn't end up buying Gas and they only had these two teams, would they be in a better position than they are now?
What do you mean two teams?
Husqvarna and KTM.
No.
I thought that's what you were asking about.
No. My question was if they never did Husqvarna or Gas.
Oh, I thought you were asking about Gas.
No.
Okay, so they never did Husky and Gas. So we have to go all the way back to 2014 then
Yes.
and say if KTM never buys Husqvarna, are they in a better position a decade later?
If they just stay as KTM, we are KTM here on Raw.
So if they never buy Husqvarna, which means they would never buy Gas, are they in a better spot a decade on?
I honestly don't know. Tough one, isn't it? You could say yes. Because KTM, to the untrained eye, KTM would be more prevalent. But then, so like you could say Husqvarna has stolen or Gas has stolen championships from KTM. But realistically, if Husqvarna and Gas weren't around,
They wouldn't have
KTM wouldn't have 12 riders in each class.
Exactly.
But would they be selling more bikes? No or yes?
I say no. I think, just in my opinion, I think both transactions were a worthy risk because they hit markets of different types of genres with both. And the way they sell their motorcycles is different in each, right?
Yeah.
Like Gas is fun. KTM is serious brand. I think Husky is their like discount model, isn't it?
No, that's Gas.
Oh, that's Gas. So Husky is their high end?
Husky was meant to, Husky's kind of like the classy model.
Right.
And then KTM is a race.
Obviously, on their race machine level 450 and 250 for motocross, the bikes are pretty much the same across the board. Yes?
Yeah.
Beyond that, though, the technology that they gain from purchasing these companies have affected how their two-stroke motorcycles are, how their lower-end motorcycles are. Like, it's not just the exact same platform all around.
What technology did they...
Well, Gas was making high-end two-strokes.
Were they?
Yeah.
Before KTM? I
Yes.
thought it was just a trials company.
No, I think they were making some well, it was like off-road two-strokes, not race two-strokes.
This has blown my wig back. Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Hold on, I'm going to try and Google.
Anyway,
I thought it was just a trials company.
they were taking in other technology to make their brands better, and then they started manufacturing all three motorcycles together. Again, I still think that they sold more motorcycles overall.
Oh yeah, well, I'll be damned.
To suffice for the fact that they spent all this money to buy these manufacturers, and then they sold and profited more because of having them, which is the sole reason of doing it in the first place. And on top of that, their race teams, as you mentioned, gave them ample more opportunity to win races. Their biggest budget spender now is being in MotoGP, which they are with KTM and Gas. And then doesn't Husky have a Moto2?
No, I think it used to.
Anyway, so they obviously have two different manufacturers now at the highest level of road racing because of these purchases instead of just one. And they also have three manufacturers at the highest level, basically all off-road sport. Rally, trials racing, as you put it, enduro, motocross, desert racing. They even have some gas stuff too. So again, I think that this was a overall win. Yes, it sucks right now because budget cuts are happening. But if you look at a 10 years on from making that decision a decade ago to buy Husqvarna, I think they took a W overall.
Yeah, you're right. You've just convinced me.
Okay.
Also, I cannot believe that those gases exist. I genuinely believe I had never seen that in my life.
I'm just confused that you never had. I swear that...
But then it's weird because they look almost identical to the gases now. So it's like... baffled I am.
I don't want to be wrong, but I was pretty certain Gas actually had some two-stroke riders in the MX 125 before they were bought.
No, I don't think they were ever in Moto.
Anyway... yeah, like I said, I think it's a win. Let's talk about race teams specifically, though. As you put it, if let's just talk about USA because you have your European side, but USA, they expand to Husqvarna. They take over the Rockstar team here. They have Anderson win a title for them. They have Osborne win titles for them. Now Hampshire has obviously won a title for them. The Gas side of it, it hasn't gone maybe as well in the U.S. as they would have hoped, but they've had race wins from Barsha. They've had strong rides from Pierce Brown and now Ryder D. It's like, I don't know. To me, they've been able to put more machines that have their brand on the track than they would have with KTM. Because if you look at like 2015, going back to when Husky first started, they would not have Jason Anderson on their machine.
Yes.
So then it would just be Dungey and Marv.
I guess then they put additional pressure on the Japanese by acquiring market share, which they wouldn't have been able to do with just KTM because the group of Japanese manufacturers would always overpower them. So yeah, I guess no, you're right. It has been a good business decision all round.
The only thing that
they would have been limited with just KTM.
The only thing that is, in my opinion, that looks aesthetically quite a bit different, just in terms of just going through the result sheets over the years. I mean, good God, MXGP and MX2, they had a stranglehold on that championship from 2009-ish or so to 2015.
Yeah.
And then since then, it's been Honda has won a lot of titles with Geyser. Yamaha with Fevra won a title. Who else am I forgetting?
Just that.
But either way, it's been a little bit more sparse with Tony got in there, Jeffrey got in there, Jeffrey got another one, but then it's been a lot of Honda. And then MX2, they still are quite a dominant force, but it just doesn't seem to be as right in your face as it used to be. It used to be like, you get on that bike and you just win everything. But then Jago Geertz wins a bunch, Maxime Renault wins a title on a Yamaha.
But I also think that they didn't want it to be as in your face of like, oh, look at the KTMs. The part of the motivation was like, oh, look, KTMs, Husqvarnas, and gases are up front. You know, I believe that part of the initial motivation was to add weight to KTM's victory, because look at all the manufacturers they are beating. Because realistically, take Husqvarna and Gas out of MX2. You've got Yamaha. So it's KTM versus Yamaha. And that would devalue KTM.
How dare you demean my friend Mikkel Harf and his triumph.
Yeah. Well, now I'm talking like since they bought Husqvarna and Gas.
Yeah.
So it would devalue KTM's titles, because it would almost be like, well, they're just beating Yamaha. There's just one manufacturer they're beating.
Right.
So not only is it market share, it's optics, and there's a lot of ins and outs, a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah, I mean, look, the business side of it, I think it's a clear win. You could argue a few different points about the team side of it on a racing level. But again, as you put it, they put more bikes up towards the front. Like, if you go back through the last 10 years and you take Husqvarna and Gas just out of the MX2 class, doesn't that then make KTM overall look like they didn't have as much success, right? So the fact that they had all those bikes up near the front on a regular basis just proves
the thing that we will never know is, does the average weekend warrior judge KTM's success on all of the brands?
Not the average one, but yes, of course, there's a lot of people that are like, I get to ride the bikes that these guys are winning on.
Does KTM's customer understand?
I don't know. Oh. Yes?
This is an interesting question.
It is.
Do they understand what the situation is? And therefore, to the average customer, are they like, oh, KTM's getting beaten by Husqvarna a lot. KTM isn't as good.
Oh, I don't think that they feel that way, no.
KTM isn't as good.
I think if you are a fan of Austrian motorcycles, you are a fan of one brand of those motorcycles, and you just stay with them. Like, that's how most people buy motorcycles these days. So if you, in 2015, when KTM bought Husqvarna, you're like, I want to buy that Husky. That's kind of cool that KTM bought them. I want to see what it feels like. You buy it, you like it. Now you've been on Husky ever since, probably.
Yeah.
So I think still the bottom dollar, they were positive from buying those because they sold quite a few more motorcycles because of it.
Yeah.
They obviously sell a lot of street bikes because of it. So I think it's a win.
Next.
Fair. Done. Next. All right, let's get into our last topic of the day. This is going to be brought to you by Racetech. Building a reliable world-class engine requires a combination of state-of-the-art equipment and experienced, knowledgeable technicians. Racetech provides quality precision engine services using the best equipment and processes in the industry. So shout out to Racetech for bringing us not a fan topic, but a Lewis Phillips topic.
Don't stop putting this on me.
Okay.
Like,
you brought it to me.
You're presenting this like I've come to you with some amazing idea. I was on TikTok this morning. A TikTok came up and I went, we haven't got something, so we can do this.
Well,
You're acting like I ran to you with like I was like, this probably is quite shit, but hey, let's get it done. Get out of it.
All right, goddamn, Lewis, you calm down. All right, so this is a bunch of would you rather.
Irate, because for the last month you have just disregarded the timer and dragged topics on for like 15 minutes.
We're not even close to an hour yet. Chill down. Anyway, let's get into it. Would you rather topics? Lewis Phillips, take it away.
Okay, so there's like 10 here.
Yep.
So we'll just work.
And this is non-moto, in case you didn't realize. So.
From TikTok. So thank you, TikTok, for sending this in. 1. Would you rather find a person or 1,000 cockroaches in your attic? If that person was Chase Sexton, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the person. Like,
no, obviously it would be like
you find like
some random.
Yeah,
guy.
But if you find like a, I don't know, serial killer or something up there, that'd be. I think I would probably go cockroaches just because you can get that taken care of.
I'm not that bothered by cockroaches.
Yeah, whatever.
Next, see, look how good it is when.
Okay, so you would pick cockroaches too.
Yep.
You just
see, look how good it is when we don't just drag it out and go. But what is the meaning of a cockroach?
Good Lord, Lewis.
How does a cockroach function? Let's understand the inner workings. Fluent in all languages or master of every instrument. Easy. No?
Yeah, languages.
Yep. Next. Would you rather be constantly sticky all over your entire body forever or constantly itchy all over your entire body forever?
So sticky versus itchy is basically...
Forever. Entire body.
Oh, God. I would go sticky. I don't think I could deal with having itching problems the entire time.
Itchy, you have to actually like
scratch to get rid of it.
Sticky, you can just bear it.
Well, can I ask just one question about that? With sticky or itchy, can you like fix it? It just comes back. Like
it's forever.
But I'm saying, like, can you temporarily put ointment on you to fix the itchiness or temporarily wash yourself to get rid of the sticky, it just comes back.
I don't know. Let's ask TikTok to reach out and tell us.
Oh my God, Lewis.
Next, would you rather never enjoy music again or never enjoy food again?
I could go without music. I think I like food more.
Yeah, I don't really enjoy music now, so. Next, would you rather be slightly thirsty, no matter how much you drink, or slightly tired, no matter how much you sleep?
Well, I'm tired all the time, so apparently I would just pick tired. I don't like being thirsty. I drink water a lot.
I would choose thirsty because then the solution is you just drink.
Yeah, but then the solution to sleep is you just sleep.
Yeah, but you can drink throughout your day. You can't just, hey, 1 p.m., I'm going to sleep.
Well, you can if you just choose to ignore other things going on.
So, like, at least in my mind, thirsty, you walk around, you just sip.
Which you do right now anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Next, maybe I am. Oh, okay. Well, I'll just read the whole thing. Fuck it. Maybe I'm just an ego. What?
I laughed and my chair broke.
Maybe I'm just an egoistic. Well, this fucking retard. That's not a word.
Egotistic?
Egoistic. They've written. There should be another T. Egotistic.
Egoistic. Yeah, I don't think so.
Either way, we'll call this person a fucking retard.
Jesus Christ.
Maybe I am just an egoistic. That's so stupid. That's so stupid. Maybe I'm just an egoistic psychopath and I think I would go for the correct answer. But do you want 100 million now or world peace forever? Fuck everyone, 100 million.
You could have asked that question without the fluff at the beginning.
I'm just reading the sentence.
Okay.
I'm not Ron Burgundy.
100 million now or world peace forever?
100 million. Fuck everyone.
God, I feel like a shitty person, but I think I'd pick 100 million too.
Fuck everyone. Next. Would you rather be burned to death or drowned? Burned? What would be longer? Burning. I feel like if you sat in a fire, it's going to take a little bit of time.
No,
But
I think drowning
pass
takes
out.
longer.
Maybe you don't die in a fire, but you would pass out from the smoke, so you wouldn't know what's happening.
Is drowning like painful? Have people ever said like drowning is
I don't
actually
think we've ever
painful?
managed to get in touch with someone who's died by
Shut
drowning.
up, Liz. I'm trying.
If you've
Obviously,
ever died
being
by
burned to
drowning-
death is painful.
If you've ever died by drowning, please reach out and let us know what the experience
Obviously,
was like.
burning is painful.
But so is drowning because they say that the water bursts your lungs.
Okay, so you had an answer for me, but you chose to be a sarcastic asshole. Thanks, Lewis.
I was egoistic.
Anyway,
Stupid fucking person on TikTok on my phone.
so I'm an F1 fan
Not sure how that's relevant.
because I really have taken a liking to the history of F1 in the 50s and 60s.
Not sure how this is relevant.
And I've had nightmares about how people died in F1 cars in the 60s from burning to death, so I would choose drowning.
I would choose burning, but I'm counting on the smoke knocking me out early.
Inhalation of the smoke killing you.
And then I'll just die, but I won't be aware of what's happening. Whereas drowning, I think you're conscious for a long time of like,
Yeah.
I'm drowning. Next, would you rather know how you were going to die or when you were going to die? When? Easy. How's irrelevant?
But if you know how, can you prevent it?
I guess so.
Because if you know when, you're not going to be able to stop it
No,
necessarily.
but I'd rather know when, and then I'll just figure it out.
Can I just ask one question,
Sure.
Lewis? If you chose the when option on the day that you are supposed to die,
Yep.
would you be like looking around all the time and like looking behind your back and being like, who's here? Like, is there a train about to hit me? Like all that stuff, or would you just live until it happens?
Well, I guess I'm not sure how the universe works, but if you know when you're going to die, the time-space continuum would take account for the fact that you know. So what you are doing you wouldn't be altering that future because the future that exists when you die is a future where you know when you're going to die because the future already knows that you know. So therefore, what you do is irrelevant. If I say I'm going to sit indoors all day because I know I'm going to die today, actually, in fact, the way I die would be like the ceiling falling on me.
Or a heart attack?
Yeah, because, get me?
Yeah, I get where you're coming
Because
from
if you
now.
jump to the future and be like, oh, I'm going to die on that day, well, the Lewis that dies on that day knew, because you're not changing the future is, I don't know.
I think I would probably pick when
All
as well.
Next, would you rather be... nah, shit. Fuck that. Would you rather have the ability to effortlessly run at 100 miles an hour or fly at 10 miles an hour? Wouldn't it be painful to run 100
That-
miles
yeah,
an
I
hour?
guess-
Like the air.
Well, I was gonna say, like if you run 100 miles an hour for like 10 miles, when you stop, are your legs like death
No, it says effortlessly.
effortlessly?
But also it's impossible because you're going to run into stuff. Fly, you just avoid the shit. If I leave your house right now and try to run 100 miles an hour, I'm going to hit someone or something. So you
Yeah,
can't
but
do that.
If you can only fly 10 miles an hour, it would take much longer to get to your house.
Would it though? Stops. You can, as
You
the
just-
bird flies.
Are you serious? 100 miles an hour to get home versus 10 miles an
No,
hour.
but you can't. It's impossible because you're just going to run into stuff.
No, just get on the freeway and pass cars.
Like, because if you run that fast, do you really have the ability to like take a left turn here? You just
I just assume you're like Sonic the Hedgehog and you just have like superhuman ability to just maneuver, but you're also running hella
I'd
fast.
rather just fly. I've always wanted to fly.
Well, I think I would pick flying just because of,
Cool.
well, if you can run 100 miles an hour, you can drive 100 miles an hour.
Realistically, if I'm going to look at this like a business, I want to go viral on TikTok. I'm going to go viral by being the guy who can fly,
You could be your own drone.
not by the guy who can run.
Yeah.
Oh, look at me. I can run. Oh, fucking good for you. I can fly.
Well,
Well, that's something to
but-
talk about.
On the flip side, if you can run effortlessly 100 miles an hour, you would break every Olympic record. You would win a ton of money because of it. You'd become like the most sponsored athlete of all time.
Well, breaking news, egoistic is a word.
Oh, what is it?
It's not, that's the word, limited to or caring only about yourself. So egotistic is not a word? Hold on. We're really going to deep dive this. 'cause
Your world is falling down right now because you.
I look like a fucking idiot. Fair.
Yeah.
I got to own it. Don't confuse egotistic with egoistic. I can't even make sense of the difference. So they've just tried to.
Okay, so egotistic is a word.
Egoistic means the same as egotistic. Well, that's more sense.
Interesting. So it's just preference of how you spell it. Is this aluminum
An
versus?
egoistic person is a self-centered person. Well, then what is an egotistic?
Is this the
person?
difference between aluminium and aluminum?
I don't know. Well, don't I look like the idiot? But fuck it, that's funny.
That
We
is.
can have a laugh. But going back to the beginning, people won't laugh, will they? They'll get all sensitive and in their feels.
Oh, you're just grumpy today, Lewis. In
Yeah, I
general.
really am.
You need to chill down.
I can't believe that they're different words.
I think it just has to be aluminum versus aluminium.
I've always heard people say egotistic. Have you ever heard someone say egoistic?
I've never heard egoistic.
No.
I would assume that
Maybe
they just
it's like
drop.
old English.
It could be. There's a lot of that.
Wow. Anyway, back to the game. That's the end of the game.
Back to the game, man. We're done.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was the last one.
All right. Hey, thanks for bringing that topic to us today, Lewis.
You're welcome.
You specifically.
See, look how
In and out. You're
just
done.
moved.
But we passed time, so you took way too long.
That's because we were learning.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for coming by today, Lewis. I think
Hold on. I'm gonna just Google. Is egoistic still used?
I think moving forward, this might be the last in studio one we do.
We don't know.
Okay, we don't know, but it could be.
Eh.
So moving forward, it'll be more remote shows. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But always fun to have you in studio. I feel like we kind of bounce off each other a little bit in person, but maybe our shows will be better, more remote. We'll find out. Lewis is still deep diving egoistic
Honestly,
versus
there's
egotistic.
so many things on Google that say don't confuse them, but they then don't explain how you don't confuse them.
Maybe it's just about like formal writing versus informal.
Who knows?
Maddening. Did you like our topics today?
No. Not gonna lie.
All right. Well, I
Probably my
apologize.
bottom 5 shows.
I apologize for the terrible show.
Yep.
You know what's going to happen though? Everyone in the comments is going to be like, "This is the funniest show ever," or
Right,
better
it's
show,
not
or
funny
whatever.
at all.
Well, you're
Gonna get shit for the Masterpool thing. That's
Mhm.
coming.
Yep.
Already see that in my future. Shit for egoistic. Who cares? That's funny. If you can't laugh at yourself, who are you? You're egotistic or egoistic. 3. Who knows? People will find a way to give us shit. Let us know in the comments.
right on. All right. Thanks, guys, for tuning in to another episode of the EVS Sports LVK More Than Moto podcast. Shout out to EVS Sports, as always, along with Namura and Race Tech for backing the show every single week. We'll be back next week with another show to preview the middle half of the Pro Motocross Championship or what have you, and have some more fun topics. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this one, and we'll see you in the next one. So long for now.